everybody, this here is Mike with Absorb Self-Reliance. That is formerly Crash Bushcraft. Still the same person, still the same thing. What I'm going to be doing here is giving you a quick down and dirty pancake style leather sheath out of some old leather that you get for 10 bucks in a bag at Hobby Lobby. You get all kinds of different pieces that come in these things. If you look real good, you can get some workable pieces. If you don't look very good at all, you can get a whole lot of tiny pieces that are this thin and 25 feet long that are good for straps and things of that nature, or even making a tiny belt if you needed to. But with that being said, these knife sheaths here, I made 3, or I'll be making 3 of them. I've already made 2 of them. I decided I need to put one of them on video, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And it is for one of the deer stag handles knives that I made out of a crosscut felling saw blade for a couple of young men that are friends with my son, and it's time to put a knife sheath together. I'm going to make this quick, simple. Probably I've done a lot of overlay talking with me telling you what I've done. It's just going to be basically giving you, if you're good with your eyes to hands coordination and understanding, you'll be able to whip one of these things out in no time. It's not going to be a masterpiece. It's not going to be stenciled. It's not going to be all that other stuff. So let's get through this here, and you hang tight, and let's see what we get coming up on this. Alright, here's a small list of materials that you'll need. The type of sewing thread, I use waxed. I'll probably be going with a white. I may even go with some color on this here, but that, some sewing needles, and about 3 pieces of leather. What makes this one right here so easy to be able to do is so you don't have to worry as much about, once you've gotten your pieces put together, in a sense, there's the basic fundamentals of this here, and it will be sewn around the edges. Now once you get it sewn and get it marked out, you can go ahead and then put in all the other things what you want. You want a belt loop for here and here. So let's get this cut out. What you do is you go ahead and lay your inside piece. That's going to be your whelp, the piece that's right there. What you do is lay your knife up on top of it, score a line out just right around the edging of it. This way you can make a whelp so you don't cut into your string. Once you've traced out your line, go ahead and cut that piece out. It's going to basically be your blade shape so that your blade can rest in between the piece that you're cutting. Notice how once it's been cut out, in just a second we'll show you actually how to place the knife down in it. That's called a whelp. That gives you an area for you to be able to sew into without cutting into your string when the knife sheath goes in and out. Once you've ensured that you've got the right fit that you need, you'll want to go ahead and get you some cement, some type of leather glue that will bond it. Go ahead and apply it to the back side of it. Take it, fold it over, place it down, line your knife up, make sure it's going to fit good. Once you have it, let it go ahead and dry. Then go ahead and apply some on the back side of it. Now let's go ahead and saturate all the pieces except for the inside where the knife is going to go. Notice the dark color versus the light. Leave the light where the knife will actually go in. Now it's time to go ahead and place the top piece of the sheath on top of it. Just go ahead and press it down, firm it up, make sure you got it nice and tight on all the edges and corners. Once you've gotten it kind of flattened out, make sure that it's going to be a nice secure fit. All the areas are nice and flat. Once that's done, take your knife, go ahead and stick it down in there. Make sure that the top edges of it are nice and snug and they fit well. What you're doing now is making 2 belt loops, one for each side. I use a hole punch. You can actually use a knife and cut this out if you did not have one. Punch 2 holes on each end. Cut on the outside edges of those 2 holes there to basically make a belt loop. You're just getting rounded edges for your loop to actually go through. You'll repeat this to the other side as well. It doesn't matter how far in or out you go. That's up to you. I mean, how far do you want to space it? It's totally up to you. It's your project. Now when you're done, it should look something like this, one on each side. I angle mine to give me an angle on the belt. I've time-lapsed this here just for time's sake so we don't have to drag it so long. This is your project. The edges, we don't need them on there. It's just too squared. It doesn't give it any character. So just go through there and cut off what you think would be good. Remember to allow for the stitching on the outside edges though. This is my final design of it, so you can go with what you choose. The next step is making stitches, so you have to have holes. If you have one of these, you can use that. If not, just take a ruler and go all the way around it and score a line for you to be able to follow, for you to punch your holes. I'll be using a drill press, but I'll show you that you can actually just use a awl to actually make these same ones, but I'll be using a drill press. And if you don't have one, you can use a drill, you can use a Dremel. There's so many options to get those holes in there, so stick around. Here I'm actually just using an awl to go around the inside belt loop, so I can go ahead and show you that you can do it without having to have a fancy utensils to actually spend that money. So just freehand it, get as close as possible. It's your project. And when you're doing the whelp inside stitching area, just follow the whelp. You can feel it, stay in the center of it so that way you don't get too far off the edge or too far to the inside. Here I'm using an awl to make the holes. I'll be using a drill press, but it's showing you can just take a 39-cent awl and actually make it happen. So just go ahead and use whatever you have for whatever means you can use. Using the drill press, I drill the holes. I space them apart, basically 1/8 of an inch apart to 1/4 of an inch. It's up to you. How tight do you want your stitching? It's up to you. For fun, I'm going ahead and speed lapsing this here. As you can see, I'm following each one of those, trying to keep all the spacings just as much as possible. Once you're done with it, then you're going to come back and you'll actually be stitching. I may make this a part 2, so stick around for it, and we'll show you how to do the stitching and then actually putting the coat on it and how to sheen it. So stick around with it, and I hope you enjoy it so far.